Okay.
All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're listening to the Cinematics Podcast. I'm Connor.
I'm Casey.
And today we're going to be talking about the freshest movie we've talked about, since we started, Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yep. So spoilers ahead, just so everyone's aware.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't really done a spoiler one before, but this movie came out like last week. So.
Yeah. All the other movies all came out like 10 years ago or something. So
initial ratings?
I'd give this movie like a 9.
Yeah, I'd do the same.
I'd give it a 9.
Yeah. This is probably like my favorite superhero movie since Endgame, not going to lie.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there hasn't been many good ones, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean,
so it's a low bar.
There was like the Spider-Man, Spider-Verse one that was good. But
the Spider-Verse one was good.
I think I like this one more.
You know, I kind of forgot about the Spider-Verse one. I think I take back my statement. I think Spider-Verse was actually better. I liked Spider-Verse a lot.
That's fair. I feel like there's something else I'm missing out on too.
Good movies, though. Are you?
I don't know.
Clearly, if you don't remember it, it's not that important.
Yeah, true.
So
this movie's great. The cameos were fantastic. I was like over the walls about the cameos. I feel like everybody was.
What did you think of the first the first big cameo with Chris Evans? What did you think of that?
I mean, it shocked me obviously because I was just like, I kind of didn't read too much into like I'm sure he wasn't in the promotional art or anything.
No, I'm sure he wasn't.
And I didn't get that spoiled for me on like TikTok or anything, where some things actually did get spoiled for me on TikTok, which is cool. It's fine. I didn't expect to be as into this movie as I was, to be honest. So, but
I didn't expect so many of the jokes to land for me. I just thought it was comedies. I don't laugh at movies very often, but whenever I laugh at a movie, it's really, really funny. Yeah. This movie, I laughed out loud multiple times. This was a funny as fuck movie.
Bro, I was dying the entire movie. Chris Evans as the Human Torch. That was interesting. I mean, I don't think he's probably not going to reprise that role, is he?
He's dead.
Well, yeah, but I mean, he could be another universe.
Well, No. That version of him is dead. I'm sure they won't bring him back again. I say that. They just announced fucking
Robert Downey Jr. is playing
Doom, which is the stupidest shit ever.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do about that.
I don't either, and I think it's dumb.
We'll see what happens.
But, no, I don't think they're going to reprise him, especially since he died. I mean, he literally got his skin sucked out of him.
Yeah.
That was
such a brutal death.
It was.
Oh, the opening fight scene. Everybody loved the opening fight scene. You know, I kind of thought that there was another opening fight scene while I was watching it. I was like, is this the one everybody was freaking out about? But I thought it was good. Don't get me wrong, but I was like, I don't know. I thought they were talking about something different, but it was really cool.
It was cool. I loved the dancing in between, and then they would just go in and be killing people with fucking dead Wolverine's skull, and it was so cool,
so Deadpool. It was so accurate to the character.
Yeah.
I think that the plot of the movie was
really quick. Okay, I just want to can we go over stuff we didn't like? Because I think we both probably don't have too many things to go over we don't like. Let's go over what we don't like, and then we'll we'll kind of go over stuff we actually really enjoyed about this movie. What did you not like about this movie?
There were some things that I didn't like.
I'll start if you want me to. What do you think? I really didn't like the villain. Xavier's twin.
Yeah, Nova? I thought that was sick.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought that was such a weak villain. It was just a villain for villain's sake, the ultimate, I just hate everything because I'm a villain. She just, and then she was just stupidly overpowered. Mm-hmm. And, they didn't really even beat her. They kind of just, then they just came in and just did the whole connecting and all that stuff like that. I don't know, I thought the villain was the weakest point of this movie. I did not like the villain.
I thought the plot was kind of lackluster as well. I
mean, that's fair.
It's the plot is just it's the multiverse. I'm tired of that plot. It's I think that's one of the big problems about all these multiverse movies that Marvel's been doing is that
most of the time it's multiverse and that's it.
And that's the plot. Yeah, it's there's going to be a bad guy, and it's somebody from the multiverse. And then there's going to be good guys that are going to team up with people that are from the multiverse, and they're going to fight in the multiverse. It's I don't know. It gets a little repetitive. But I thought they did it in an all right way, and it was almost like the entire plot was kind of like a meta commentary thing with Deadpool calling himself Marvel Jesus, which I thought was really funny.
I thought that was fun.
Yeah, I mean,
I loved all his fourth wall breaks.
But that being said, even though I thought that the plot could have been like stronger or whatever, I still don't really think it was bad, and I actually did like the villain. I didn't have like that much of a problem with her, though she was just a villain for villain's sake.
I don't know. I didn't like her. I feel like we've had so many better villains that this was a very weak villain. Now, in saying that, I still give it a 9. I still think it's an amazing movie, and I don't think it's like bad enough. The villain's bad enough to where you can't watch it because of it.
Yeah.
But I don't like the villain. I think the villain was very weak.
I mean, there might have been some like little things in the moment where I was like, I don't really think that landed for me. But I guess really if those are the only 2 cons that we have and we're still rating it a 9, it's pretty damn good movie.
Honestly, it's a really good movie. Like all the jokes, I know it's a very fan service movie.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
I think one thing that I do wonder how good of a movie that would be if you didn't know a lot about the Marvel properties and Fox and all that stuff, because it was a lot of fan service towards those things. So I wonder how much you would actually like the movie and how many of those jokes would land if you were not a part of the Marvel universe.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't know very much about like the Fox,
Yeah, but you kind of know a little bit from osmosis, and you're very into the Marvel universe and everything like that. So you've kind of learned things. Like I've personally never watched one of the full Fox movies.
Yeah.
But I still kind of know about a lot of them because I enjoy watching the Marvel stuff, so it's kind of like they always like, oh, what are they going to do with this, because of like, and you kind of learn about it kind of through it. But I feel like if someone came in brand new, let's say they've only watched Deadpool 1 and 2, they've never seen any of the other Marvel movies, this would be a very hard movie to come into.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm saying like I don't really know that much about the Gambit at all. I did not know much about Blade, but I still was like freaking out when they were on.
I've never seen Blade or Gambit. Well, I know who Gambit is, but
yeah, I know who he is, but I mean, they didn't have like a movie about him or anything, and I didn't know like a lot of his character traits. I only realized once I started watching the movie how little I knew about Gambit, basically. And then, like, seeing, like, Elektra did the least for me out of the 3 heroes.
I didn't really... Not that I didn't care for Elektra. To be honest with you, there was 4 characters there. There was the Logan's X-23.
X-23, yeah.
There was X-23, Elektra, Gambit, and Blade.
Yeah.
Blade and Gambit were probably the coolest, with Elektra and X-23 probably being the weakest.
It's unfortunate that X-23 didn't do very much in the movie.
She didn't. She was, like, in the movie, but to be honest with you, she kind of... I mean, none of them were really in the movie, but it felt like... I don't know, Gambit felt like he had more of a presence. Same thing with Blade. It felt like they had more of a presence on screen. Whenever the other 2 showed up, it didn't feel like they were, like...
Yeah.
It felt like extras.
It's unfortunate that X-23 had such a small role in the movie, honestly. But also at the same time... Oh, yeah, this brings back to, like, another gripe that a lot of people had, which... I didn't really find that annoying, but I know a lot of people did. A lot of people were really upset that they kind of like defiled the legacy of like the Logan movie, because the Logan movie was really good, and then a lot of people were saying that just them bringing back Wolverine, in any way, was just kind of like taking down.
So I
Logan's
can
sacrifice.
Absolutely see that, because I feel the same thing as with Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
I think them bringing back Robert Downey Jr. defiles the legacy of Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
I've never watched any of the X-Men movies, though. I've never watched any of the Wolverine movies.
Yeah.
I don't feel that way because I've never seen those movies, so I thought it was funny. But I'm sure if you watch those movies and you've really felt that like heartbreak of him dying, and then they bring him back, I absolutely could see being upset about that. We'll see if he actually retains the role, though, or if this is a one-off and then he doesn't come back again.
I really hope he comes back, because like that's part of the thing for me is that I do like the Wolverine character a lot from what I've seen of him, because like I said, I'm the same way. I haven't seen a lot of the X-Men movies. I've seen I want to say Days of Future Past. That's the one where they do the time travel, I'm assuming, because of the name.
think I've seen X-Men First Class, but I don't think Wolverine's even in that one.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like the one with like Beast and
I think that's the only one I've seen.
Yeah. So, and I've seen Logan.
I saw Logan.
But it's like, it still didn't like upset me that much, because I'm willing to like just like put it aside for the sacrifice of actually getting Wolverine in the MCU, because I really want that. So I was kind of cool with it. I was fine with it. Didn't bother me at all. Who was your favorite cameo in the movie?
I liked Chris Evans.
Really?
Absolutely. Because I was actually like actively like getting annoyed. I was like, cannot believe they brought him back and he's going to be Captain America.
And then they just killed the shit out of him.
And then no, not only that, but they also then brought him back as the Human Torch. And I was like, I'm okay with this.
Oh, yeah.
And then they killed him too. And I was like, I'm even better with this.
Yeah. No,
they're not bringing him back for a full fucking thing. I was very happy with that. I thought that was so funny.
Yeah, his death was really satisfying in a funny way. I mean, my favorite cameo was definitely the Gambit. Bro, Gambit was hilarious in that movie. I watched the movie with Jesse, and we were both just like sitting there, you know, and I mean, he couldn't stop laughing at everything that he said. Every time that he popped on screen, him and I were both like laughing so hard. We were literally in tears, like slapping each other in the back of the theater, crying, laughing at the Gambit because of his accent. He
had such a weird accent.
It's Cajun.
It was what?
It's Cajun.
It's Cajun.
Yeah.
It's like a French accent.
Yes.
But it's like a Southern French, right?
Yeah, that's exactly
what it's supposed to be, right?
That's what Cajun accents kind of are.
Yeah.
It's like because, you know, Louisiana was
colonialized
by the French. Right.
So they're all Frenchmen down there.
They all do have a little bit of a French accent lingering.
Yeah. So they're like constantly retreating and stuff like that.
Though his was a little bit extreme.
His was a very thick.
Yeah. Like almost unintelligible.
I don't know how accurate that is, but
no, it's not.
I just imagine it is.
It is not a normal person in Louisiana, but there aren't very many normal people in Louisiana anyway. But yeah, Gambit was freaking hilarious. And you know, Channing Tatum playing Gambit has been like a thing for like a really long time.
I did not know that. Is that a common thing people wanted?
Well, he wanted it. So like back when I think it was supposed to be X-Men Last Stand, which is like one of the worst received X-Men movies, they were like, yeah, you know, Channing Tatum, you want to play the Gambit? And he's like, yes, I would love to play the Gambit. It just so happened that he was like a big fan of the Gambit. Mm-hmm. And then he got cut from the movie. And they didn't put the Gambit in the movie. And then they were like, well, you know, it's okay. We're still going to give you your own solo Gambit movie. And like this happened like maybe almost 20 years ago, like a little bit less than 20 years ago. That's how long ago this happened.
And they clearly didn't.
And he was like, yes, and they didn't give it to him. So he has been wanting to play this role for so long.
I wonder if they're finally gonna, because none of them died, and they clearly brought them all back to their universes.
Yeah.
Because if like that's how I would assume Blade's gonna get a new movie. That's how
he is.
Yeah, Blade's getting a new movie. I wonder if they're gonna give Elektra a new movie, and maybe even X-23 a new movie.
Oh.
This is all guesses, because if they're giving Blade a new movie, they're kind of introducing these other characters. I wonder if they're going to start like bringing them into the MCU, into where they can start kind of branching off of them. That's maybe how they bring Gambit in, and that's how they bring Elektra in, and stuff like that.
I could see them doing a thing where they give all of these characters like a little. I feel like not all of these characters need a solo movie.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, I feel like they could get off like better with this. But I mean, they already have the Blade thing going on, and that's cool because they clearly want to. You know, it seems like Marvel is wanting to focus on the characters that are a little bit more violent because they're aware of how ridiculous Disney's like censorship has been over pretty much anything that a Marvel fan wants.
Yeah.
So. I mean, that's where they're focusing on like characters like Deadpool and Wolverine and like you know, Red Hulk and like they're putting all these characters in that they probably wouldn't have in like the last phase because they're just like a little bit more extreme.
I don't know about Red Hulk. I feel like he's not in that.
Yeah, but
he's like that's like.
I mean, Daredevil's coming in, and it's like
they're bringing in,
like,
and that's going to be. I think that's a TVMA series too. Yeah. They're definitely bringing in more adult content in their films.
They're bringing in some badass characters,
which is very cool. Which I mean, I can appreciate that.
I'm happy about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's always been like people have always called it like a kids show, but like. Clearly, like Daredevil from fucking Netflix and stuff like that. Like, that was obviously not a kid's show. There was people getting heads bashed in. So it is pretty cool to see them going into the little bit more adult-rated stuff.
Yeah. I'm excited to see that.
I
think that they could go a pretty good ways with making like maybe a Blade movie. I don't really know how many people would want to see an Elektra movie, but you know, because I don't know how big her fan base is.
I don't think I don't know. I didn't even know there was an Elektra movie originally.
But it was a long time ago, wasn't it?
I didn't even know that was a movie. Like, I'd heard of Blade. I know of, wow, we just finished talking about Channing Tatum, the guy
Gambit.
Gambit, thank you. I know Gambit because you see him in all the X-Men. Anything with X-Men is Gambit's probably in it. The same thing with X-23. Logan was a very big movie. But then Elektra, is she supposed to be a Daredevil villain? or character?
Dude, I have no idea.
Okay. I really don't know what she's from. And I'm not saying she may be like super fucking popular.
Daredevil.
I've just... It
Daredevil?
is Daredevil? It is Daredevil. Okay. Daredevil.
Well, there you go.
Did she show up in the Daredevil show?
No, she didn't. Well, yeah, her character did.
Her character did.
But
okay.
she wasn't like Elektra yet or something?
She becomes Elektra in the series.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I do remember. See, I thought that was the case. So yeah. Okay. She is an Elektra. Okay. So no, never mind. I do know who Elektra is then.
Well, I didn't watch the Deadpool show. But basically, what I was going to get at is I think maybe the movies that I think would maybe do well out of like the characters, just off of like their performances in the movie and how much it seems like they focused on them. It seems like more than likely they would end up making like a Blade movie, and then I think that they gave the Gambit a little bit more than X-23 and Elektra because they were kind of fishing out to see if a Gambit movie would do well.
It's probably true.
I mean, I'm not sure if we really need a Gambit movie either.
I don't know if Gambit... Like, I like Gambit, don't get me wrong. I don't know if he could have his own movie.
I don't know if I could do the accent for 2 hours.
Yeah, I feel like he's good on a team.
Yeah.
I think he's good like with the X-Men because he can kind of go off of them.
I was going to say they could make a team-up movie again out of that group and have that be like the entire movie and have it be like an official X-Force movie.
That could be fun. Like an X-Force movie with those characters actually could be very fun.
I could see them doing that.
Yeah.
That would be cool. I want to get on to the battles. There were some really cool ass battles in this movie. I mean, obviously the first one, everybody loves the first one. Him, using like Wolverine's adamantium bones and stuff and killing people.
I did not expect that. Also,
Yeah,
I
no.
absolutely didn't expect them to touch on that at all. And the fact that they brought it up immediately, like it's basically the first scene.
What, the adamantium bones thing? Yeah.
Yeah, which is so cool. It's just such a fun scene.
And he wore his like hand, like the gloves for.
Mm-hmm.
That was so sick. I was like. And then there was the fight scene. Well, every scene where Wolverine and Deadpool fight was hilarious. I love the one where they just like made the analogy of them like fucking in the Honda Odyssey all night, and then it's like the camera like pans out and like Wolverine's like covered in blood. He's like lost his like arms and stuff. Deadpool's like wrapped up in a seatbelt from head to toe.
Yeah.
That was so funny.
It's a fun scene. I love all the fight scenes in this movie.
Yeah.
Like there was two with Wolverine and Deadpool.
Yeah.
Which were just both really fun fight scenes.
Yeah.
And it's neither of them can die or get injured basically by the other at all because of the way they both work. So it is kind of fun to see them fight and just go no holds barred, just like, I'm going to kill you, but then just can't.
I thought it was so funny watching Deadpool hop from universe to universe trying to find a Wolverine to team up with.
And then there was the Henry Cavill one.
Yeah, there was the Cavalrine. And then there was the 5'1" Wolverine that was freaking hilarious.
I loved that.
I loved that they did that.
Well, because in the comics, he is 5'1". So just representing, and he even goes like, oh, it's the comic accurate one.
I loved the scene where Wolverine actually ran on all fours. That was so sick to me. I was like, I don't know.
I'm trying to think of what scene that. I think I remember that scene.
It's when they were fighting in the void, like behind the 21st century, century Fox thing. He starts like sprinting at him on all fours. I know a lot of nerds were freaking out about that scene. I thought that was cool. So he never does that, You know
one thing I loved Deadpool's suit, and I think Wolverine's suit was amazing.
Yeah.
Until they put his face down. I did not like it.
Like the mask?
The mask.
You didn't like the mask?
I did not like the mask.
I thought the mask was really cool.
I thought the ears looked really fucking weird.
No, I thought it looked weird, but it's like
It's cool that
they
it's
had the
accurate.
ball. Yeah, they had the balls to make it so accurate. It was kind of sick to me.
I mean, it's cool that they did it, but I did not vibe with that suit.
I mean, that's understandable because it's like it's dated.
It is.
That's the thing about these comic accurate suits. Everybody wants a super comic accurate suit, but in a lot of cases, they need to be a little bit modernized because they look a little bit ridiculous.
Some of their old suits are really weird looking.
Yeah. But I thought Wolverine's was super cool, honestly. I thought the white eyes and the mask was like so, I don't know. It was such a love letter to the Wolverine character, if anything.
Oh, absolutely.
Like it was, yeah. They portrayed him they got to portray him so well and just have him. I mean, Logan, you got to see him dismember people and just like totally, fuck people up. But in this movie, it's like, they let him like curse all the time and stuff, and it's like you don't get to see him as old man Logan doing this. It's like an almost prime Wolverine doing it. It's like it was so cool.
It was cool.
I was so happy to see that.
This is the only X-Men, or this is the only Wolverine movie where he actually cusses, right?
I don't know if he probably cusses in Logan.
Does he cuss in Logan? Does he cuss in Logan? He cusses in Logan.
Probably.
We've been told by our producer he cusses in Logan.
Yeah, thanks, Brock. Yeah, I mean, But it's cool because it's not like focused on an Old Man Logan thing. You get to see I consider Old Man Logan almost a different character.
It feels like a different. That was a very dark and grimy movie.
Yeah, so I loved seeing Wolverine be like dark and grimy, but in a bright suit and in like a bright atmosphere.
Way.
Yeah, in a comical way. It was awesome.
I agree with that. It didn't feel like. I'm not a fan of the super duper dark and grimy movies.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed the fact that this wasn't as bad.
Yeah. And then what else was I gonna say? Oh man, I just had something in my mind too. Oh man, Nice Pool, so funny. It was the Ryan.
Oh, Ryan Reynolds without the mask, and he actually doesn't have healing, and that's why he looks really nice.
Yeah, and then they made him like be the Ryan Reynolds from The Proposal. That was so funny. I loved that joke.
Wait, what do you mean?
You didn't see that?
No.
He like looked at the camera and it was like, it like put him behind the backdrop for the Proposal movie, like poster art. And
oh, I did not get that.
There was a joke that like the Nice Pool Ryan Reynolds was the Ryan Reynolds from The Proposal, which is like another Ryan Reynolds movie.
Okay, I didn't get that joke.
That was so funny. That was one of the ones that really made my theater pop. So I was like kind of, I don't know.
I didn't get that at all.
My theater thought that was hilarious.
I didn't have a very active theater, which surprised me. I
had one that was a little bit too active.
Yeah.
Everybody was like screaming, laughing. It was like a little bit ridiculous. And the guy next to me would not stop singing every song that came on in the movie, and that was driving me nuts.
It's like his fourth time watching it. He knows all the words.
Yeah, and he like brought his girlfriend there, and he was telling her like everything that was happening. Like he was like, "Oh, in the comics, this happens too." And it's like, bro, she does not want to hear that.
That's so cool. Stop talking.
It was pretty funny though.
Yeah, luckily I didn't have a theater that was too bad. There wasn't super duper talkative or super duper like loud or anything like that. Like it was just sitting there watching the movie, other than like laughs every so often.
Yeah,
it was kind of nice.
I thought this movie was way funnier than Deadpool 2.
Oh, absolutely. I think this is easily the best Deadpool movie.
I think it's the best too.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Deadpool 1, so I actually recently rewatched Deadpool 1 because I actually had never seen it. I'd seen Deadpool 2, but I hadn't seen Deadpool 1. Deadpool 1 is fun, but in my opinion, I don't know how like super duper funny it is.
Yeah.
In my opinion, like I never felt like any of the jokes were super landing for me. Again, Deadpool 2 I thought was funnier. But I think I thought Deadpool 2 was really funny. But Deadpool 3, I easily think is the funniest movie.
I think at the time when Deadpool 1 was released, it might have been a little bit funnier because we weren't used to. It was just like kind of.
It was a new thing.
It was so weird to have a superhero be so on the nose about being funny and it being so
and
gory
it being
and
an
stuff.
R movie and everything like that. So it was kind of like that shock value.
But yeah, then the shock would have been gone if they did the exact same thing for Deadpool 2. So they raised the stakes a little bit more, made the fourth wall breaking even more exaggerated. They exaggerated the comedy a little bit more. But if anything, I think that movie, like Deadpool 2, for its time, didn't have the jokes that Deadpool 1 or 3 did. And then Deadpool 3, I think, legitimately has the best jokes. And
I think they're able to pull from so many more things, too.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that Disney bought Deadpool, like, they're able to... Then they're making fun of Disney, they're making fun of Fox. Like,
the whole time.
Yeah, like,
awesome.
It was super fun.
Oh, and also, shout out to Disney for not censoring, the hell out of Deadpool's character. I'm really happy about that.
I'm surprised they didn't censor it more.
Yeah,
but at the same time,
really
if they would have, there's no way anyone would have seen this movie.
Yeah. I saw somebody saying that like they cut down on some elements of Deadpool's like bodily horror where it's like, he'll just like end up like totally, tearing his arm off in, some scenarios. But it's like you don't really see that.
He never lost an arm in this. He never lost an arm or a leg or anything.
I don't think so.
Yeah, he didn't actually lose any body parts, which is insane with the amount of times he was stabbed.
Yeah, I mean, he stabbed himself through the arm in one of the very first scenes when he had the Wolverine claws on and he didn't know how to use them.
Oh yeah,
that was really funny.
He stabbed the one guy in the fucking nuts, and then he stabbed the other guy in the nuts, and then started going back and forth with it.
And when he finally rips it out, it like hits him, and he's like, "My own fucking arm." That was so funny, dude. I mean, it was such a blast to watch. It felt really fast too. How long was that movie?
I want to say 2.5 hours, but that's just a guess. I would assume it was 2.5 hours.
It felt really fast to me.
It did feel like a quick movie, and that's always a good thing. I never want a movie to feel like it's fucking forever. The quicker the movie, the better probably the movie. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that was my problem. I mean, we're talking about 2 other movies after this. That was my problem with Watchmen. I mean, the first time I watched it, I feel like it didn't have this effect, but the most recent time I watched it, oh my god, did it drag.
We'll get more into that in the next episode. We're doing Watchmen. But that I don't know. This movie was that was a good movie, to be honest.
Yeah. the 130 Wolverine fight or Deadpools.
You got Lady Pool. You got there was a dog pool. Dog pool was the ugliest dog ever.
Yeah.
But it was so cute and funny at the same time.
Yeah, man, I'm sorry if you like own one of those dogs, but that dog...
that was the definition of a rat dog.
Yeah, that is like the ugliest dog I've ever seen in my entire life.
Which I definitely think is the point.
And like also if you own one, like don't like come near me.
Yeah. Do not bring that dog next to me, please.
Yeah. And there was like, I had seen a TikTok of somebody saying that like the cast of 130 Deadpools like wasn't like diverse enough as you looked past into it. It's like some of them just looked like a regular Deadpool, but like I don't see the problem with that because some universes,
that at all.
Some universes, these gonna look the same.
Well, not only that, it's just the fact that it's not supposed to be like every single Deadpool is obviously gonna look similar because they all have Deadpool. That's like the one thing, they all have the Deadpool costume.
Yeah.
Not all of them have to be so incredibly different. It's just 130 Deadpools. It's a cool scene because there's 130 Deadpools.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my gosh, and like the scene with the bus where they're just like going through and killing all. Yes. That was so cool.
I thought it was so funny too, just them going through, and the entire scene. I was like, can't they regenerate? Why are they not just coming back to life? And then they came back to life, and I was like, yes. There you go. This is perfect.
Yeah. I also wanted to say I was really like, I mean, we kind of touched on it a little bit already, but like the comic book accuracy of of every single character's costume was like amazing.
Gambit was, Deadpool obviously was,
Wolverine
was,
Elektra was, Blade was.
I don't know Elektra. I don't know her comic book accuracy.
That looks pretty close to her.
And have you seen her comic book?
I remember the movie poster, like the old one.
Oh, okay.
And she looks like that in it, so. I'm pretty sure Cassandra Nova usually looks like that, but whatever. And it was also really weird that they did that thing where they made like the Void just like a Mad Max universe.
Yeah, they basically did.
That was so, well, yeah, it was definitely like a jab at it. It was like so on the nose, but it was like, why?
It was fun though. I really enjoyed that being a Mad Max universe, like type of thing. And like the one, I mean, even though I didn't like the villain too much, I thought it was kind of fun, her being like the big bad of it and like trying to take everything over and capturing all the superheroes. And then you got like the little band of misfits that are like over here trying not to get captured by them and stuff.
Yeah, and they had and part of her little crew in the Void, they had Azazel. That kind of, I love Azazel. That's such a badass character. The little devil looking guy that like teleports.
Is that Azazel?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought that was Nightwalker, the blue guy. I thought that was like a variant of the Nightwalker.
Yeah, no, his name is Azazel.
Nightcrawler.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I thought that was so cool. I just think he's a really cool character design. It was. I mean, I was just really like, I was kind of floored by the cameos that there were in the movie. I mean, obviously everybody was. I didn't really care about the Avengers cameo, if you could even call it that, because I mean, him talking to Happy, trying to join the Avengers was funny.
Okay, and you maybe not know this. I think I was a little confused, but you also recently watched it, so maybe you'll understand it more. The very beginning of the movie,
right.
Okay, it says 6 years ago, and it says 616 universe, right?
Yeah.
Then it switches, and then it goes 6 years later, and it's like 1500535, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the same Deadpool.
Yeah. No, I think this whole movie takes place with a Deadpool from a different universe.
No, that was clearly the same Deadpool because they referenced that scene.
Yeah, well,
multiple times.
Maybe. Maybe whenever he got the TVA stuff, maybe he did that.
he went back in time.
Because he can also, he can go back in time too. Because of Deadpool 2.
That just didn't make sense. I didn't know if that was because the way it works is it's all one timeline, and then you can have branches.
Yeah.
So the only thing I could think of was that it branched out because he didn't get the job.
Yeah. So I guess. Yeah, I guess the like 1,000.
But then that would mean in the main universe he should have the job.
Yeah.
Which then means, but then why don't we see Deadpool on the Avengers?
I don't know. Why was Thor crying?
Why was Thor crying? I don't know. It just seems really weird to me. I didn't understand that at all. That like
I kind of didn't either.
Really lost me.
I just didn't question it.
I mean, fair enough.
Okay, maybe we can chalk it up to he's from a tangent timeline, the one that we're following in the movie. The mainline timeline one is Deadpool is in the Avengers after like some serious like.
But that's in the future.
But it's in the future.
Ooh.
Yeah, and he's like had to like seriously like prove himself and stuff like that.
That would be weird.
Why?
because it said 6 years ago.
Well, maybe that's the first time he asked. They didn't
I
give
guess
him the job.
He comes back later.
Yeah.
I just didn't understand that. I thought that was weird.
Well,
that it said 2 different universes, but the way they framed it, it seems like the same Deadpool.
Yeah, probably is.
That's what confused me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just being insane.
No, I don't get it either. But it's all cool.
I don't know. Maybe it's just multiversal stuff, to be honest.
Yeah. I guess we're about ready to probably wrap it up.
Probably about ready to wrap it up. So give final score.
Still a 9.
Still a 9 for me, too. I thought 9. Very, very good movie. Just didn't like the villain. It honestly brings it down a full point for me. I did not like the villain at all.
See, I didn't give it a 10 because I feel like a 10 is just like a feeling. I didn't get the feeling from it, but I really enjoyed it. So,
fair.
9.
But, okay, cool. This is the Cinematics Podcast. We'll see you. Oh, wait, hold on. Sorry. You got to go watch the news. Goodbye.
Okay, yeah. Bye.
I almost forgot my catchphrase.